Hey guys, I'm Dan, one of the engineers at Mishimoto. Today I'm going to show you how to install this new direct fit intercooler into your Duramax truck. Installation of the Mishimoto intercooler for the 2002 to 2005 Chevy Duramax R. 8mm wrench, 10mm wrench, 7/16 wrench, 10mm socket, 11mm socket, 13mm socket, extension, ratchet, pair of linesman pliers, flathead screwdriver, Phillips head screwdriver, pick tool, pop clip tool, coolant, and coolant funnel. Installation time is about 3 hours and is a 4 out of 5 on the difficulty level. First things first, disconnect both negative battery terminals. Next, locate the drain plug and drain the coolant. Next, we'll remove the upper shroud by removing the 8 pop clips. Next, remove the latches for the headlights. This will allow you to pull them out. Remove the bulbs and disconnect the electrical harness to remove both headlights completely. Next, unclip the grille at the sides. Then unscrew the 4 clips holding it in to remove it. Next, remove the turn signals by removing the bulbs and disconnecting harnesses. Next, disconnect the mass airflow sensor and remove the factory airbox. Next, remove the splash shields from the inner wheel wells and disconnecting harnesses. Next, remove the transmission control module from the fan shroud. Once you've done that, unbolt the fan shroud and remove it from the radiator. Locate the 4 pop clips that hold the upper fan shroud to the lower fan shroud and remove them so we can take the upper fan shroud out of the way. Next, unbolt the AC condenser brackets from the radiator support. Next, unbolt the hood latch support by removing the 2 hidden bolts. These bolts are 10mm. Next, disconnect the upper coolant hose from the radiator. Next, remove the lower radiator hose from the radiator along with the ancillary connections. Next, remove the airbox mounting plate by removing the 4 10mm bolts. Unbolt the coolant reservoir from the airbox mounting bracket. Unbolt the mounting bracket from the frame of the truck so we can remove it as well. Disconnect the cold side pipe from the intercooler. Next, we're going to disconnect the transmission lines from the radiator. In order to do this, we're going to have to use either a factory GM tool to remove the line from the retaining clips, or use a small pick tool in order to remove the retaining clip from the fitting. If you do remove the retaining clip from the fitting, be sure to put it in a safe place. These things are small and they will get lost. Next, unbolt the radiator and intercooler assembly from the radiator support beam. Next, unbolt the small cross bracket from the radiator support. Next, remove the 6 10mm bolts that are hidden underneath the upper radiator support beam. Once you've removed those, you can go ahead and remove the beam from the engine bay. Disconnect the hot side boot from the intercooler. Next, loosen the clamps on the hot side pipe. Once you have the clamps all loosened up, go ahead and remove the hot side pipe. Remove the radiator and intercooler assembly from the truck. Unbolt the radiator from the intercooler by removing the 4 13mm bolts that hold them together. Next, transfer the mounting grommets from the stock intercooler to the Mishimoto intercooler. Next, you can place the radiator on the intercooler. Bolt the mounting clips back onto the lower intercooler mounting points. Reconnect the upper mounting points. With a little assistance, reinstall the radiator and intercooler assembly into the engine bay. Reinstall the radiator support beam. Next, reconnect the small cross bracket to the radiator support. Next, bolt the radiator and intercooler assembly to the radiator support beam. Next, reinstall the fan shroud by connecting the 4 pop clips to the lower fan shroud. Next, reconnect the AC condenser brackets to the radiator support beam. Reconnect the hood latch bracket to the radiator support. Connect the transmission lines to the radiator and be sure to securely clip them in place. Reconnect the upper coolant hose to the radiator. Next, connect the lower hose to the radiator. Reconnect the ancillary hoses. Be sure to clamp all connections down tightly. Next, install the cold side pipe and connect the cold side boot to the intercooler. Once you have the pipe connected to the intercooler, go ahead and install it onto the intake. Next, install the hot side pipe up through the wheel well and connect it to the hot side boot to the intercooler. Next, install the hot pipe onto the turbo. Next, reinstall the airbox mounting plate and bracket to the coolant overflow tank and the truck frame. Bolt the mounting plate back on to the mounting bracket. Reinstall the factory airbox and air intake hose. Reconnect the mass airflow sensor. Reinstall the splash shields to the wheel wells. Next, reinstall the turn signals. Next, reinstall the grill. Next, screw the grill back into place with the 4 pop clips. Next, reinstall the headlights. Be sure to clip them back into place. Next, reinstall the upper shroud and pop clips. Next step is to refill the cooling system using a 50-50 mix of coolant and distilled water. Once you've done that, go ahead and turn the vehicle on and turn the heat on high to bleed any air bubbles out of the system. After that, you're all good to take your truck out for a spin and enjoy your new Mishimoto products.